Chapter 1, Part 3. Mina.
31 Farvardin 1414 in the Persian calendar. I came to my brother's house with Mustafa and Morteza. A few days ago, suddenly, while the kids were at work, a few officers stormed in and took Hamid. When they saw the photos of the twins, they started interrogating me and Hamid about where they are now and where to find them. But I did everything I could to keep things hidden and kept their whereabouts a secret. Hamid, who had no idea what a weapon even was, now had to go and fight, and for an unknown period of time. At an age when everyone is supposed to be retiring and no longer has the strength to fight. When the kids came back, without any explanation, I hurriedly took them to my brother's house in the west of Tehran. On the way, a lot of ambulances passed by us. They had bombed the parliament. No one could believe the war would reach Tehran this quickly. Morteza and Mustafa hid themselves behind the back seats the whole way, just in case there was a patrol or a soldier on the road who might catch them. There's a war going on in almost the entire world. Only a few African countries and Australia declared neutrality, but soon after, the countries in the war sought their resources and attacked them. It's not just us who are in a bad situation. Angela messaged me yesterday. Well, actually, I saw her message yesterday. She had sent me a message 10 days ago. She asked me if I thought Iran could be a safe place for her or not. I suggested to her that if she has money, she should go to one of those colonial countries, because rich people live more comfortably there until the outcome of the war is clear. But my message still hasn't been sent to her because I don't have internet. It seems like there will soon be some new divisions planned for the world. All the world leaders gathered for 3 days and held a series of negotiations to turn the entire world into just 2 big countries. Of course, it was decided that Australia would remain a neutral country, and both countries would use its resources equally. Some people say the division that's going to happen will be based on religion. If that's the case, we're probably going to see a massive wave of migration. All races are supposed to quickly mix together. Nothing matters to me except my family. I've always wished to have my family by my side no matter what happens. If something bad is going to happen to someone, let it be me. But now things have gotten really terrifying. On one hand, I'm worried about Hamid, who's in the middle of the war, and on the other hand, I'm worried about Morteza. Morteza is really stubborn. Ever since he was a kid, he hated it here and wanted to leave. From day one, he complained that we were forcing him to stay somewhere that doesn't respect his art. He'd say, if I were in Italy right now, I'd be somebody, I'd be successful. He loves painting. When he sits down in front of a canvas and moves his brush across it, he's so focused that sometimes he doesn't blink for 2 minutes. In all his paintings, he tries to do something new. He worked so hard that he finally managed to get a scholarship, but now, because of this war that's broken out, it's unlikely he'll be able to emigrate so easily. I hope it doesn't come to him having to flee. Yesterday, he spent almost an hour arguing with Mustafa about whether they should escape together, and now, with all this chaos, there's no guarantee he'll make it safely to Italy. He'll definitely go to Italy, but I need to do something to make him leave later. He's always in a rush. He can't stand waiting for his dreams. He has to get them right away. He never has any peace.
Mina is sitting in a room at her brother's house, in front of a mirror, and she looks a little upset. Her hair, which is now gradually turning gray, falls over her face in an unruly way, and she wishes in her mind that she could get a chance to have access to hot water and take a shower. Sometimes she goes toward the room where her sons are sleeping, and when she's sure they're comfortable, she goes to the kitchen and eats some of the leftover macaroni from last night. Then she looks at the clock. It's 3 in the morning and she hasn't slept. From the moment she entered her brother Mehdi's house, she's been waiting for a call from Hamid. She still hopes to see her husband again. Hamid is one of the few choices she's made that she's never regretted. After eating the last bits of the leftover macaroni, Mina notices a large light rapidly approaching them from a distance. Mina quickly rushes to Mustafa and Morteza's room.
Mustafa, Morteza, get up. It's a missile strike.
Mustafa and Mortiza quickly jump up and run toward the living room. Mina heads to her brother's room.
Get up. Get up. Mehdi, wake up.
Mehdi and his wife wake up in a hurry and rush to the living room. The missile has gotten very close to them, and everyone can clearly feel the intense shaking it causes. Everyone rushes out of the house and runs toward the main street, where they see a massive missile striking the buildings in the neighboring alley, and all of them are thrown to the ground by the blast wave. The sound of sirens can be heard, and several more missiles are seen in the sky. Mina asks Mehdi to get his car so they can get in. Mehdi, who has left his car keys at home, rushes toward the house and, with hands shaking so much he can barely unlock the door, struggles to get inside and grab his keys. Before closing the door, Mehdi pauses for just a few seconds to look at his home, thinking that this might be the last time he ever sees it. A few minutes later, they all pile into Mehdi's old patrol and head out of the city. A massive traffic jam has formed on the roads out of the city, and all the streets and highways are packed with terrified crowds. Along the way, they see people who look traumatized by war, sitting helplessly by the roadside and asking for help. But it's already too late to help, and the cars and people who still have a chance to escape speed past them as fast as they can. Mehdi weaves through the streets as quickly as possible and gets onto the highway. On the asphalt surface highways, crushed stones and shards of glass from the war are scattered. Mehdi, who is looking ahead with a lot of fear so he doesn't run into anything, sometimes thinks as his tire rolls over pebbles and broken glass that if he gets a flat, he doesn't have any more spares left, and his spare tire is already almost out of air. After an hour passes and they finally reach their intended exit off the highway, Mehdi takes one side road after another. Trying to get his family to a safe and quiet place, somewhere they can at least escape the crisis-filled atmosphere of the city for a few minutes. A place where, in the silence, they can talk and make a sensible decision. He stops at a place he had visited many times before, especially before he got married, when he came here with his friends and knew the way by heart. From up there, they could keep a full view of the city and its situation. They all get out of the car and look down at Tehran, which is engulfed in flames. Then, everyone discusses and examines the many debates and different ideas that Mehdi and Mina bring up. A little later, after reaching a consensus, they set out for the family villa they have in the north of the country. Everyone is worried about the things they didn't bring with them. Mehdi hadn't even had a chance to grab his phone, and the second time he went back to get the keys, he didn't see it either. Mina, however, sits quietly in the back seat among her sons, looking for a way to contact the security office of the Northern Complex to find out whether it's safe there or not. Finally, after a few minutes, she finds the number for the Northern Complex in her phone contacts and calls it. But no one answers the phone. She waits a bit and calls again, but still, no one responds. She tries in any way she can to connect to the internet so she can read any news about the northern region of the country. But with the current situation, there's no hope of getting online. She puts her phone aside and looks at her sons, who are in their 30s, as they anxiously stare at the road. Maybe they have grown up by now, each with a character of their own, but the fact that they were still living at home up until that very moment kept Mina from seeing them any differently. She still thought of them as the little children she had brought into the world years ago. The road is very dark, and everything in front of Mehdi's eyes looks blurry and unclear.
The whole way, he keeps glancing at his car's mirrors and the brake lights of the car in front. Every time he sees the twins in the back seat, he feels a sense of pity for them. The hopeless twins, who despite not being much younger than him, had gotten caught up in a severe economic crisis at the height of their youth and still couldn't fully cover their own expenses or get married. They couldn't even easily meet a suitable girl because their financial, economic, and job situations didn't allow them to have a normal life.
Unlike Mehdi, who had managed to carve out at least a minimal life for himself.
Now, on top of all these problems, you had to add the war as well.
Mehdi, who used to think they were a bit spoiled and blamed his sister for it, had now changed his mind, and today, more than ever, he truly empathized with them.